Hi, everyone, and welcome to Studio Jake. I, of course, am your host, Jacob Airy. Thank you for joining me today on my vidcast where I talk about all things pop culture, including Star Wars. And there's a lot to talk about. Star Wars used to be one of my favorite franchises of all time. And now when I hear the announcement of another Star Wars project, I just kind of go, because of the lack of stalwart leadership, the lack of anticipation that they have created is palpable. And this is true of the upcoming Rey Star Wars film. So Disney is doubling down on Rey Palpatine. It's mind-boggling. The fans have outright rejected everything since Mandalorian season 3. Obi-Wan has been rejected. Star Wars Vision season 2 has been rejected. Ahsoka was largely rejected despite some initial hype. Book of Boba Fett, Tales of the Jedi. No matter what Disney does, they continue to churn this out despite rejection. And Midnight's Edge and The Critical Drinker and Razor Fist, I'm not the first to say this, it feels like they're just doing it to please a certain crowd, that they believe that they need to do this because reasons. They're pushing an agenda, the DEI, this whole thing about pushing these identity politics that don't even matter anymore, this woke ideology that is just carried by a couple of social media mobs that don't even matter. And this is true with the announcement of the new director. So the director that has been announced for the Rey Star Wars movie is Sharmeen Obaid. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Chinoy. And she has made some comments in the past. Now, I would like to say some people are going back and digging up comments like from years ago. And I don't really think that's fair because a lot of what she was saying was in the context of the documentaries she has made. She has made documentaries about the plight of Pakistani women in Pakistan because of how poorly they're treated in that country. She's won awards for that. Good for her. No shade at that. American feminists, they used to do that. So like when they would win a battle in the court of public opinion or in the court of law, they would try to take what they had internationally. But now feminism has become this thing where they're just constantly whining about things that don't matter, such as the fictitious wage gap, such as manspreading and mansplaining. It's all this, they equate it to horrible things that happen to women instead of going to places like Pakistan where there actually is a problem, where there actually is a need for someone to stand up for them. They don't do that. Charmene has. Good for her. She deserves that. So like when she was talking to Jon Stewart and she was saying, I like to make men feel uncomfortable, she was talking specifically in regards to the documentary she made. So let's put that in perspective. However, that does not mean she is capable of directing a Star Wars movie. And I'm not the first to say this. Other YouTubers have said it. Other Rumble accounts have said it. I am not new to this. I understand that I'm kind of coming in late to the game because I took some time off, but I just wanted to give my 2 cents. This is the quote that has me on edge. So she was being interviewed by CNN and fandompulse.com quotes it here. I feel what we're about to create is something very special, so I'm very thrilled about the project. Nothing bad with that quote. Now that we're in 2024, it's past due that a woman steps up to help shape a story in a galaxy far, far away. What are you talking about? All episodes of Obi-Wan were directed by a woman. Bryce Dallas Howard directed several episodes of The Mandalorian, and it is a shame that now granted this is the first feature film, but to say that women haven't been shaping it is ridiculous. Most of the storyboard writers and artists, the storyboard group, they are women. Kathleen Kennedy is the head of Star Wars. She handpicked J.J. Abrams and Rian Johnson to destroy the franchise. And it is really sad that that is what they're banking on. They're already setting up the premise that if you do not like this movie, it means that you're a sexist, you're a misogynist, you're, she's from Pakistan. I guess they're going to say Islamophobic. I don't even know that she's a Muslim, but they're going to say all these things. You're xenophobic, you're a racist, you're a bigot. It doesn't matter, even if you bring in some very critical analysis of it, whether it be positive or negative, you will be labeled as bad, bottom line, because they're going to adhere to that woke ideology, those identity politics, because that's what Disney is now. People are like, why doesn't Bob Iger just pull the plug? He's pulled the plug on other projects. The problem is Bob Iger handpicked Kathleen Kennedy to backstab George Lucas and make Rey his hero. And that is a problem because now he has to double down because it's about his legacy. His return to Disney was not about saving Disney. It was simply about preserving his legacy. And if you don't believe that, I've got a bridge to sell you in Brooklyn. He doesn't care. That's why Wish went through all the rewrites it went through. You should go and look and Google the original storyboard for Wish. It was supposed to have romantic overtones. The king and queen in it were both supposed to be evil. It was going to be the first time there was a couple, a villain couple, I should say. It sounds really fantastic, but no, Disney had to muck it up all in the name of identity politics, which is what they're doing with Star Wars. And I just think that even though, they had a strong female character played by Gina Carano, the one known as Cara Dune, who was supposed to get her own spin-off show. They canceled that because, some people got their fifis hurt. Put a helmet on. Life is tough. No one's going to agree with you 100% of the time. And if they do, they're just sheep. And they had that chance. So all this talk about, this is just about empowering women. Spare me. It's about empowering women who are friends with Kathleen Kennedy. All of her self-insert characters that she does, like in Solo, that robot that Phoebe Waller-Bridge played, that was Kathleen Kennedy as a robot, which I'm not unconvinced she's not a robot. Same with Indiana Jones. Phoebe Waller-Bridge was just an insert. Leslie Headland, who's creating the Acolyte, she's, and by the way, who was a friend of Harvey Weinstein and his personal assistant. She is going to create the Acolyte, and it's going to have all these feminist overtones. Spare me. You hired Harvey Weinstein's hatchet lady. I don't even want to hear it. It's all hypocrisy. It's all ridiculous. And that's what this is going to be. Since they set this up, this narrative, where it's going to be, if you don't like this movie, you're a sexist, misogynist, racist, istophobe, bigot, whatever they're going to throw at us. Just don't see it. Let it drown. Let the box office crumble, because no matter what you say, no matter how sharp you are in your analysis, it's a trap. That's what this is. It's a trap to encase us, and all this is going to do is going to explode the careers of YouTubers like Overlord DVD, like Nerdronic, like Midnight's Edge. Not so myself, but I hope so that that'll happen in the coming years, especially with Rings of Power daring to return. It's going to be one disaster after another as long as the people who are in power are still in power at Disney. They've ruined Marvel. They've ruined Star Wars. They've ruined Indiana Jones. They've ruined Willow. Willow was so poorly received, keep this in mind, that they actually took it off their servers and used it as a tax write-off. That was the last thing. Willow was their last chance. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny was their last chance. Ahsoka was their last chance, and they've blown it all. I didn't even bother to watch Visions, which was actually a Disney Star Wars property that I liked, because of how they ruined it. And now there's even hints that Ahsoka won't return for a second season, and we still don't know a lot about what's going on with Dave Filoni's movie. The Acolyte is in a constant state of turmoil, but this Rey Star Wars movie is supposed to start filming apparently this year, sometime in the fall, and it's going to be released in 2025. So we're just going to have to wait and see. I think they're aiming for a Christmas release, because a lot of people, are bringing their kids to the movies because they're out of school and all this. But I honestly think that we should just vote with our wallets, and we should hold back and hold the line. Commentators like me, I'll probably end up seeing it somehow, because I want to be able to bring you my thoughts on it. But for now, Charmine, Kathleen Kennedy, they are determined to bring Star Wars in the ground, and Iger, for whatever reason, is simping for it. And I feel really bad for Daisy Ridley, because I've seen her in other movies outside of Star Wars. She was just given poor writing and a poor direction, and I would like to think that in another universe where George Lucas didn't sell Lucasfilm to Disney, that perhaps she played Rey Skywalker as the daughter of Luke Skywalker instead of, the apprentice of the burnout Jake Skywalker. I really hope that whatever happens in the future, they'll actually hire decent writers, whether it be a Disney board takeover or something else. I hope that we get some good Star Wars very soon, but I doubt it. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you'll give it a thumbs up, that you'll leave me a comment and tell me what you think, that you'll share it out with your friends, and of course, consider subscribing to StudioJake. I cover all kinds of nerd and pop culture topics, including film, television, anime, comic books, and so much more. I hope that you'll also head over to my main website, StudioJakeMedia.com, where I have even more news, views, and commentary. Also, if you'd like to support the channel, head over to my locals page. That's studiojakemedia.locals.com. It's the best way to support me. I'm trying to build a little community there. I have exclusive reviews and articles, so definitely head over there and check it out. And I'll see you next time, right here on Studio Jake.